I'm Carla Christopher, host of Culture in Maine on White Rose Community Television, which is York's hour-long weekly cultural showcase. Now, the art scene is exploding in York. We all know that. But April is its most special month. Not only is it National Poetry Month, which, as Poet Laureate of York, of course, I think is important, but it's Jazz Appreciation Month, which means all month long in York City, you're going to see incredible jazz showcases. Make sure to get out there and check them all out in our local restaurants and venues. But you thought NSYNC was cool. You thought Mindless Behavior was going to blow your mind. You didn't know that the newest heartthrobs that are about to take over the country are actually here in York, and their names are Time Out. I have Time Out here with me, some of the most talented jazz musicians in the county, and I also have the promoter, the event coordinating extraordinaire, who is putting all of this together, Kelly Gibson. So, Kelly.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. And if you guys would not mind, why don't you introduce yourself and show your suaveness with the world?
I'm Cole, and I play bass.
I'm Sean, and I play drums.
I'm Graham, and I'm in One Direction.
I'm Sean, also, and I play saxophone.
Woo! So now tell me about the band. You guys have been together for a huge amount of time. How long have you guys been playing together?
Well, we got together when we were 9. Cole's dad owns a music studio in York, and we all started playing there at a pretty young age, just for lessons and other bands assorted, things like that. And they decided when we were about 12 that we were all going to be in the same band together.
That's Inspire Arts, right?
Yep.
That's right. Kurtzite?
Yeah.
And also an amazing jazz musician.
Yep.
And you guys are just coming off a pretty huge win. Tell me about that.
Oh yeah, we played at the Jewish Community Center's Battle of the Bands. Yeah, pretty cool. And we won the Battle of the Bands.
Congratulations. You guys did an amazing job.
There were like a bunch
There was
of
some
bands
stiff
there.
chalk competition.
Yeah, everybody was really good.
It was close.
So you did great.
Well, was it just, stacked with jazz bands?
Not really, no.
No.
So how do audiences respond to you when they see you guys get up there and looking like teen rockers and you bust out with jazz music? Like, how do people take that?
It's different. It's definitely not what most people would expect from us. I mean, we definitely stray away from traditional jazz styles for the most part, but we still try to incorporate it mostly into our music. So it's a little different for them, but they normally react pretty positively.
So why jazz, as opposed to maybe a more contemporary or expected art form? What drew you guys to make that kind of music?
Well, we didn't want to do rock because we didn't want to have to buy new bass every time we smash it on the stage at a show, and that's tough. And country, I tried to learn the banjo, but it was just frustrating, and I don't exactly have the face for a boy band, so.
What?
Yeah.
I think the viewers will disagree with you. I'm sure the fan mail will tell a different story.
And it's just like we grew up with jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The improvisational side of it's really interesting to us too.
Oh. So now what are you guys going to be doing for Jazz Fest?
Playing music.
A lot of music.
A lot of original stuff.
So you guys actually create your own pieces?
Yeah.
Yep. In fact, we just released an album that's entirely original.
And where could people hear about that?
They can find it at the York Jazz Fest. We can find it on our website at timeoutband.com. If you follow us on Facebook or Twitter, you can find it there too. It's on iTunes as well.
And the York Jazz Fest is April 27th at the Strand Capitol Performing Arts Center. And you are performing at 2 o'clock in one of our venues, but we have performances all throughout. And it'll be from 2 to 6. And folks can find information on those tickets at www.mystrandcapital.org. So please come out and see this wonderful band. And you guys were there last year, and I have to say, the biggest crowd pleaser. We had so many comments. I did not know that kids so young could play so well. There were people there coming to see some of the other jazz greats, and they were blown away by you. Just blown away. So we were happy to have you back.
Yeah, the room was filled.
It was
And the hallway was filled.
Yes, we had to. I think we had to move you guys. We're thinking you're now going to be downstairs in the lobby because we needed the expanded space. You guys just took too much space. You just had too many fans.
So what are some of the other things that are going to be at Jazz Fest.
Well, we're really excited this year. We have a lot of great bands, like Time Out's going to be there, but we also have food and wine tastings to kind of complement all that York City has to offer. We do have non-alcoholic beverages as well as wine and lots of food, and the bands are all going to get to sample too. But it's a great mix of people and of music. It's a showcase, so there's performances all throughout the Strand, which we love. It's all the way through, all the way up to a cabaret seating on the stage. So people will be at tables similar to this on the Strand stage right next to the performers and get to watch them. And you guys were there last year. What did you think of the other performances? Is there anybody that you saw that you hadn't heard before?
A lot of it, really. I didn't realize there was so much jazz local to York County.
Yeah.
Great.
I think a lot of people don't realize that jazz is a huge hotspot in York.
Mm-hmm.
Who knew?
Yeah.
But apparently it's because we're training it up young.
Right.
Yeah.
Ow. So again, make sure you check out timeoutband.com so that you can see all of some of the fabulous talent exploding there. Get your CDs. And make sure you join us at Jazz Fest. Be a part of the renaissance that is what's going on in downtown York right now. You want to hear this music. You want to see these bands. You want to have half of the fun that we're going to have down there. So we will see all of you at York Fest Jazz Festival. Woo! Right? Woo! Jazz Fest!
Nothing gets jazz fans crazier than going like this and shouting woo.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that what that's what?
It's pretty much
Jazz
just
people
walk
love
on
that?
stage and go,
Works too.
Woo!
all the old people that are sitting in the audience are just gonna stand up.
They just go wild. They love that.
I think we're categorized as
No, I'm talking like 70 plus.
Yeah. Canes go flying.
Yeah, they're throwing their canes up there.
So when you go to the jazz festivals, what does the audience look like?
Old people.
Well,
Lately, let me just say.
I mean, lately
the
we've
last
been
show we did,
getting
the
some
last show
ladies.
we did, it was just like maybe 160,000 people. Like when we walked
not
on the
true.
stage, I couldn't hear for the first part of the show because the ladies were just on top of the game in the scream game.
They were shouting
Yeah.
G Slon, G Slon.
Woo!
I do. Never mind.
Self-edit. So do you guys envision doing this for the rest of your lives? Is this the career path that you want to follow?
hopefully. I think a lot of people, at least for high school musicians, don't necessarily think that music is a practical course. Like, they'll tell you don't just go for music performance or go for music education or go for something that isn't one of the arts. But we'd like to stick with it for hopefully the rest of our lives.
Wow.
Great.
So now when you are, this is for yourself, I will be, out in Hollywood.
No.
So when you talk to other students, because there's a lot of young people that are loving music, are into it, but they're not sure maybe how to get started or how to go forward. What advice would you give to people that were your age when you got started to get to where you guys are now? Because you're phenomenally accomplished for such a young age.
Find a teacher, like the great teachers at Inspire Studio of the Arts. Like my dad and his staff, they're like fantastic. Anything you want to play, they can teach it. So just find a teacher, and then like, if you really want to do that, just work really hard.
And learn jazz because whatever you play, it's technically
Everything is jazz.
Yeah, everything's
Hip hop has its roots in jazz. Rock has its roots in jazz.
It'd probably also be important for young people to find other people to play with. Like, that was probably one of the most important parts of at least my education in music.
Okay. So find people to play with, get the good teachers, and just keep working at it. Just keep going. There was no point in time where you wanted to give up. Like, I'm done.
Yeah,
It
like,
could stop.
you're sitting in your room and you're like, I don't want to practice, but then you just keep pushing, and then
How many hours a day do you guys tend to practice? Do you practice every single day?
For the most part, at least 5 to 7 times a day for an hour to 2 hours.
Wow. So not everyone practices quite that ambitiously, is what you're saying?
I do part-time archery on the side, so, some stroke once in a while.
So now, are you guys involved in other things besides music? What else do you guys do?
Primarily just
You're straight
eating
music.
Cheetos, watching TV.
play video games. It's fun sometimes. For me, like I do music a lot, mostly at school, and then when I'm at home, I'm on the computer trying to work stuff out with like composition and stuff. Because like improvisation, that's spontaneous composition. So if you can write stuff slow, then when you go to improvise, it just kind of happens better and better the more you write. So.
Okay.
Reach, Big Daddy.
That was deep.
We do have a lot of musicians that come on the show that speak about they don't even know how to read music. They perform intuitively. But then there are plenty of other performers that say performing intuitively was helped by the fact that they studied music. Mm-hmm. So you're on the study, and then it helps you be spontaneous camp.
Well, it works both ways, but I think it's best to have a good background in theory and knowledge of the music before you actually try to go out and make stuff up.
The more stuff you know, the cooler your stuff is going to be.
Right. It's important to build up your vocabulary before you go out and really start playing.
Nice. Okay, so what else do you do besides? Because I know you have all the hockey concussions and.
I play hockey in the spring and winter. Baseball starting up now. Man, I really don't have that much of a life.
We are all worse.
Yeah.
You do more than any of us.
Throwing some Wii Sports or something.
Nice. What about you guys?
I'm mostly just involved in music, either through Inspire or through my school. That's about it.
Awesome.
I play bass, and if I'm not playing bass, I'm making music on my computer.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, thank you guys for coming on the show and for coming down to the studio. And I plan to absolutely be at Jazz Fest to check you out.
Sounds
and
good.
hopefully everybody else will be too.
April
Can you
27th.
sing? Because you can come up and sing with us.
Ooh.
Can I sing with you? Can I do poetry with you?
Yeah,
Sure.
We'll lay down a beat and you can just spit some
Oh
rhymes.
my gosh, I do all kinds of spontaneous poetry, and sometimes I sing and stuff too. So I will totally, I totally want to perform with you
We
guys.
should make a tune.
See this spontaneous spoken word jazz fusion at York Jazz Fest, April 27th, Strand Capital Performing Arts Center. Tickets, mystrandcapital.org. You can also check out their music at timeoutband.com. You guys are on your third album, am I
Third
right?
album.
Yeah,
Time
top
Travel?
secret.
Top secret.
Top Secret. Top
Yeah.
Secret. Yes. Just released in February?
Yep.
Yep.
We did all the recording ourselves.
You did?
Yeah.
It was all done within Inspire Studio of the Arts too.
Great.
It was all
Will we
on
hear some
premises.
music off the new album at Jazz Fest?
Sure.
Yeah.
will.
Awesome.
That's all you're going to hear.
Great. So new music
exciting.
from the band at York Jazz Fest.
Awesome.
Great.
Woo! See, that's what they do on stage. Woo!